Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Check it out. Today we're reviewing the NIKKO Air 220 FPV Pro version, where they give you the full set of 5.8 gigahertz screen with goggles you can put it in, 220 quadcopter with a 5.8 gigahertz FPV camera, of course. So a little bit of an upgrade to the little NIKKO Air 115. This is a brushed little brother version here, which doesn't come with an FPV system, but I went ahead, if you want to check out that video, I put on my own little FPV system and it did fairly well. So check that review out if you want to. But today is all about its big brother. So this is going to be a full review. We're going to unbox this, set it up, inspect it, and take it out, do a flight test, and also a pros and cons. So let's get started. Anyway, just opening up the box. Oh, actually on the front here you can see that you can use the screen in two different ways. You can either mount it to your controller and just use it as kind of a screen controller, or you can slide it into the goggle box they give you and use it that way too on your face. So pretty cool how you're having like a universal option there on how to use your FPV. So just slide this whole thing here out of the box. A couple of instruction manuals there. And of course there's always some zip ties, so definitely have some scissors handy for this one. Wow, there's the top layer. And here's the drone coming right out here. Look at that thing. And doesn't look like it's brushless motors. I thought this might be brushless, but it's still brushed. Just has larger propellers. Looking like a nice little wide angle FPV camera that we can, so we can adjust it however we want. You can go from level all the way up to, it looks like about maybe 40 degrees if you get really good at your racing around. It looks like it has removable, this, by the way, this plastic is super flexy. Look at this. I can just twist this all over the place and it's not going to crack. And it seems like these propeller guards should be able to pop off. They're not easily coming off, so I'll have to see how we disconnect those, but they do give you 4 on the drone already, and it looks like those are removable. Looks like we have an LED light in the back. And that's where we're going to pop in our battery tray here. We have our off and on switch there with our micro USB there for charging and hooking into Betaflight. Anyway, that's the drone. Let's see what else is in the box, and then we'll kind of go a little more in depth. So this looks like some kind of screen mount holder. Here's our battery. And this is a 500 milliamp hour, 7.4 volt. 2S little battery, rechargeable battery. A full set of propellers, which are zip tied in there. 2 sets of batteries, wow. So it looks like one set possibly for the screen, and then one set's going to be for the controller. Speaking of the screen and controller, here's the face box. So it looks like a box you're going to just put right on your head like this and clip in that screen to the front right here. Clip, clip. So you can have that immersive FPV experience with the 5.8 gigahertz screen that is really in here. So there we go. There's a screen. There's a micro USB cable. The controller and also the propellers have tie wraps. So I'm just going to unclip those real quick so we can get at this stuff. There we go. There's a controller. There's our 4 extra propellers. Cool. And then this guy is just kind of taped in here. Wow, they give you a little micro SD card. That's cool. And these guys are little alternate stick mounts. So if you didn't want to use these higher grip sticks, which I'll probably be using, you have the option to switch those out with these little nubs here. Okay, so that's everything in the box. They're providing a little 4 gigabyte micro SD card in the box, so that's a bonus, which looks like it's going to be used in the FPV screen right here. You can see on the top we have this little micro SD card slot. Push that in for recording the FPV video that's going to be on here. So that's way cool. And as you can see, the screen is just kind of like this half round screen. The back is a little bit concaved here, how it's kind of going around. We've got some switches and buttons here for options, power off and on. So if you wanted to use it just on your phone, you can actually just, it's got this little mount here, this screw that you screw in. This little ball will actually screw into the screen like so. tighten that up, and then you can mount this directly to your controller if you don't want to use it inside of your goggles. So it looks like it just clips in just like that, and you can have the screen like this. Or if we unscrew this off of here real quick and snap it right into the goggle front, it looks like we want to make sure we're right side up, which should be this way with the buttons on top. Push it in here. Let's see how it locks in there with the seam nice and tight. And then this should just kind of clip inside. Boom, 2 clips. And look at that, it's a full-fledged goggle box with one single Fresnel lens, which is going to amplify the screen. Each side is kind of adjustable individually, so we can slide these back and forth. And that's pretty good, because a lot of these cheaper boxes don't allow that, but at least these guys allow you to kind of focus in. And it does look like it's going to incorporate some really small glasses if you wear glasses. Okay, so unclipping again on the screen, and boom. So I like that really easy system where you can unclip it. And it does look to me like this thing is going to be taking possibly AA batteries, which I've never seen before. I've always usually seen a screen like this have like a built-in lithium battery or something, but it looks like maybe they're choosing on this one to allow you to put in AA batteries, which is interesting. There we go. Yeah, so you see those 4 AA's, which they do give you in the box. So those will just clip in there. And then these other set here will actually be for the controller. And speaking of the controller, it's very similar to the 115 controller. This is the controller from the 115 I just reviewed. It looks like it's basically the same exact controller. You can see all the buttons and the form factor are the same. But the 115 had altitude hold, which was a spring-loaded throttle. And this 220 has no altitude hold, it seems, and there's no spring-loaded throttle. So you're gonna have a little bit more precision in your altitude adjustment while you're flying, which is actually better for racing drones because you have a little bit more precision control. When you are trying to race a drone through obstacles with altitude hold, it's a little rough, you know, it's a little delayed response. So I actually am glad that they chose that option. Flipping around the controller, we can see that this one has 2 screw holes. As I said in my first review of the 115, I would have kind of liked them to have just one, because it's kind of a pain in the butt to unscrew 2. But anyway, there you go. So 4 AA's, they just go in there as normal. Also wanted to show you guys, the cool thing about this is you're supposed to be able to adjust some settings in beta flight, which is kind of unheard of for a little toy package like this. So I've got the USB cable they provide us plugged into the computer, and now I'm just going to plug it into the drone here. And if you don't power it on, it's just going to charge the battery. You see the little light on there, so it's charging the battery in the drone. But if you do go ahead and turn the drone on, you hear the tone, and it's actually hooked up to it's connected to your computer. You can see this green flashing on the backlight. So if I go into beta flight in my Chrome browser, it's a downloaded app, I should be able to just connect. It looks like it's connecting to COM 6. Let me go ahead and zoom in here so you guys can see what's going on the screen. There we go. And so if I just go ahead and connect to COM 6, we should be connected to the drone, and yes it is. So look at that. Here is the drone. It's kind of showing us our 3D orientation there, just like normal beta flight always does. Usually race drones of a higher caliber have this, but that's incredible that this one is allowing you to go into beta flight. So we can go into PID tuning on the left here, and look at that. So you can actually go ahead and adjust all the PIDs on this if you wanted to. We can go into the receiver, and I don't have it powered on, but let me just power it on real quick. And there we go. I just turned on the controller, and check that out. You can see all your receiver values. I don't see any throttle for some reason there, but pitch, roll, and yaw are showing up anyhow. So pretty neat. So you can go into a full-fledged beta flight and make adjustments if you wanted to. I'm not going to make any adjustments. I'm just going to leave it stock as it is and show you how it flies out of the box. Of course, always, if you're disconnecting before unplugging the cable, always go up here to the top right button and always disconnect the craft before you go ahead and unplug it. otherwise you could corrupt the firmware. Okay guys, so I got everything charged up. I really quickly just wanted to go over how to take these prop guards off. I'm gonna have them off for my test flight, and it looks like you need to have a little small screwdriver like this, a Phillips head. They don't provide one in the box, unfortunately, so maybe something this brand can include in the box eventually. They do include an SD card, so I'm surprised they don't include any small screwdriver. But anyway, it's just the two outer end screws here and over here that are holding in the propeller guards. And unfortunately, they're super small, so be really careful when you're taking them out if you think you're going to need them again, because they're very easily losable. So you unscrew the screws as far as possible, and then this whole thing just pops out. You can see how there's the two screw holes, and you can slide that back in if you want to use the prop cards again. But here's one of the screws that just fell out, and you can see how incredibly small they are, so you want to make sure you put those in a safe place if you're taking off these prop guards. There we go. So NIKKO Air powering up. Okay, so it looks like it's not on the right channel, so we need to find that channel. So I'm just pressing this top little camera button that has a little Wi-Fi signal on it, and looks like that's it. Channel 3 looks like our channel. And let's see what the latency is. This is 5.8 gigahertz, and it does look actually very fast. Wow. So you see the response rate on that? The lag time is really nothing. So that's great. The screen does look a little washed out, so what I might do is just kind of turn down maybe the brightness on this one and bring that down a bit. Okay, and again, don't forget we can adjust our camera angle here. Since this does have a DVR recording feature, we should be able to record what's going on. I think that must be what this right button is on the top. Let's just check that out. That looks like a picture, and if I click and hold it, there we go. So see on the top right there, we have a little record blinking. So this in fact is the button to take pictures and record. So you can do both. And what it's doing is it's just taking this exact screen here and saving it to that micro SD card, which you can later view on your computer. All right, cool. Let's get this thing up in the air and flying. So I'm gonna put the goggles on, and we're just gonna fly FPV out and around the house and see how we do. So I am noticing on this face box that it does feel like it's pretty far away in front of my face. It's a little bit of a different feeling than like Fat Shark's. And you know, it's a little heavy over here, but this top head strap really helps actually. It's adjustable here with Velcro and on the sides with Velcro, so it's feeling pretty good. Starting off in rate 3 in just auto level mode. And we're going to see how we can fly this thing. What I want to do right away though is I want to start recording. So I just pressed and hold, and now I'm seeing the light blink in the goggles. So this should be recording the FPV, and let's go for it. So it seems like you got to go up and down on the sticks to initially start. And so what we're going to do is try to fly through the house here. Whoa! Relaunch. I just want to try to get out here. There we go. Okay, so I want to try to get outside. Man, the sun's like right there. And I notice my FPV is kind of cutting out, so I'm like trying to readjust my angle. So we may have a little bit of a limitation. Let's see. We're okay. Okay. There we go. So I'm outside, flying around. Let me get up and over. Whoa, I'm like way. So the FPV on this, oh my goodness, so not that good through the house. I don't know if you guys, hopefully you can see what's recording on screen here, but I'm really losing signal pretty bad. So what I might do is, what I might do is put on my Amway goggles. And I'm also going to record the Amways here. Okay, this is more manageable. I can actually see what's going on in the goggles. They're fairly clear. Whoa, that sun. Ah! Ah! Don't go in the pool. Oh! Almost hit that brick. I'm just gonna fly around the house. You can see how it's much more manageable with these goggles. So the antenna in those goggles that comes with, not that great, guys. Let's try and fly out in the road a little bit here. Okay. Not hit anything. Let's try and get in the front door again. Whoa. Oh boy. It just disarmed because it hit so hard. Let's try go the other way. Let's try out this door. And then we'll come in the back door if we still have enough power. Yeehaw! Whoa, up, up! We'll come around the palm tree here. Just like this, and then we'll line up. Oh, breaking up. Oh, full on break up. See if we can get in this door. There we go. Oh, almost made it. Oh, I think we can make it. Get in the house. There we go. Whoa, don't hit myself. Back out the front door. Yeehaw! Okay, so it's possible, guys. Whoa, the wind just gusted, and see that? It's trying to blow it to its right. Come around here. Oh, low battery controller is vibrating like crazy. Oh! So I better not disarm it, because if I disarm it right now, oh, so it just disarmed. I have no more ability. So what happens is the controller vibrates like crazy, and that means the voltage is low. So let me go get that, and then we'll do a full-on pros and cons. So I will have had the video from this up on the screen and from the Amways up on the screen, which is cool because it's an option. This is regular analog 5.8 gigahertz coming out of the drone here. So you're gonna have the option to use any kind of goggles you want. And even with the wrong antennas on the Amways, these are actually circular polarized, right hand circular polarized. What I should have done is swapped out these antennas really quick with the linear polarized antenna. I have a monopole I should have put on here, and I actually have a linear patch antenna I should have swapped out. And that should have even given me better view from these goggles than I was getting with these circular polarized antennas. Even though these were the wrong polarization, there was still better FPV than the goggles, so we know that there's definitely something going on that's not very good antenna-wise in this kit. Other pros and cons, it's very durable. All that crashing, I didn't look at this, the props just do not bend. So no bent props, they flex and then they bend back. The arms the same way, super flexible. You're not gonna break this thing anytime soon. The FPV camera, a great option to click it up a little higher, so if you get better and you're able to fly at a higher angle, you can as you see fit do that. The only con about this clicking mechanism is when I did have it, I think I had it up like 2 or 3 clicks. When I was outside and kind of like slamming on the ground and landing, it clicked down 1 or 2 clicks, so then it leveled out again. So just keep that in mind, it will do that. The controls were a little wishy-washy, even a little worse than the 115 here. And I think that's due to the wind too outside. This is just gonna be more susceptible to wind because it's light and it has bigger propellers and it has a bigger body. So it's gonna be influenced a little more by the wind than this one, just because this one's got smaller everything. And it's also, this one's pretty heavy with this FPV setup. But for an all-in-one little FPV, the bonus is you can connect it to that Betaflight. So if you wanted to mess around and say you wanted an all-in-one FPV experience, definitely this is an option. Just use it in an area where it's going to be more line of sight, like at the park or something, where you don't have any walls or trees or cars blocking between the FPV screen and the drone. Keep it as line of sight as possible with no obstacles, and I think you'll have a great time with it. The acro mode on these ones, gosh, it's kind of like they try to give it an acro, but it's not quite there with the acro. I mean, it is connecting to Betaflight, and you can adjust all the perimeters and settings, so definitely cool how they let you do that. So you got this for like Christmas or something, and you got the package, and you wanted to get into it and learn Betaflight. It's definitely a very good learner drone, and it's also going to be very durable. You saw me crashing it all over the place. Nothing broke. It even got hung up in the tree, and I was trying to work it out. None of the motors burnt out. So for what it is, kind of a little toy introduction to FPV racing and FPV in general, with kind of like the universal ability to have the screen on your controller or in this box, this goggle box, it's actually kind of neat. I kind of like it. It's just not as precision as something you'd spend more money on, like a race drone, but definitely a good start and very durable. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed that review, and don't forget, I will have the links down to this guy here. And also, if you're thinking about getting some aftermarket goggles, these are great goggles. I'll have a link to these goggles and some other good choices in the description. And also this little guy I reviewed, I'll try to have the review on this one up there. It's from the same company, and it's basically the little brother of this one without FPV, but I just put my own FPV system on this one, so check that one out if you have some time too and you want to see how this one does. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed that review, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.